I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but I'm starting to feel like community is a luxury. And it feels kind of strange to say this, but 20, 30 years ago, the same spaces and clubs that used to exist for free are now being sold back to us as community. Like, community was like the default setting of society, but it's now become like this premium feature. Like, what was the bread and butter of society has over time gradually been dismantled and broken down, partly economical, because the local infrastructure that was sustaining our youth clubs, our libraries, our affordable spaces, it became harder to sustain, and unfortunately they were forced to close over time. But part of the reason for this is also partly cultural. We have been sold this concept of independence, like be independent, move cities, protect your peace, build your own path. And it all sounds very lovely until one day you wake up and you think, okay, I know I'm meeting my physical needs, but I feel hella lonely. And then that's when society steps in and goes, good news, for the price of £120 per month plus booking fees, we have recreated what your grandmother used to have for free. We present to you community nights, belonging for everyone, unlimited conversations, terms and conditions apply, tribe access may be revoked upon missed payments, friendships sold separately. Like 15, 20 years ago, we had those spaces. We had the community centres, the youth clubs, the libraries, a whole plethora of different places where we could all meet up, and we went from being strangers to being people who cared. And yes, venues cost money, organisation costs money. Nobody is entitled to free labour. But my point is, community has gone from this sense of belonging to something we all contributed into, to it now being something that we purchase, a service. And then subsequent to that, when belonging follows market logic, access is granted to those who can afford it. So community becomes something that you get access to if you can afford it. The irony is that we've broken the conditions that made community, that upheld community, and we've just started reselling people tickets to get back into community. I'm not sure if I'm alone in noticing that there's this kind of two-tier system that is forming within the social realm, right? So you've got the group who are able to gain access, who are able to pay into beautiful co-working spaces, third spaces, curated events, communities of like-minded people. And then you've got the other group who are unable to afford, I want to call it privileges at this stage. They work, they commute, they go home, that's on repeat. So I'm not sure if anyone else is noticing that there's very slowly this kind of two-tier system that is forming. Like, one side gets to accidentally meet new friends and future partners and business opportunities and mentors, while the other side is stuck with algorithmic companionship and people you may know. Like, connection itself is becoming unequally distributed. And community itself compounds, because if you know people, then you are more likely to have more opportunities and get invited to places, and your confidence grows, and you are more likely to recover faster, versus if you don't have access to that. Everything costs more emotionally, socially, economically. So I'm beginning to notice that this is bigger than loneliness, because historically wealth gave people access to material things like bigger houses. Now it's like the very root of what it means to have a good quality of life, like that sense of community, the sense of belonging, the sense of being remembered. That you now need, that is now behind a paywall and you need access to. I'm going to conclude on this point. The darkest irony in all of this is that we have built up societies where you can get food, transport, although with transport I realise not everywhere is like London. But anyway, food, transport and entertainment, you can get that within minutes. Community, on the other hand, much harder to access. And just imagine, we've gone from a society where the norm was come in, pull up a chair, to now limited spaces available. Please select a pricing plan. But yeah, these are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.